Yo, um, I want to add additional reasoning to why there is a disparity between educated black men and black women. Like I said before, this whole conversation is ridiculous because the women act as if they are just naturally better off than black men. But like I said, there is hard reasoning, right? There are hard explanations to why there is a disparity, but they'd rather make money off of hyping up black women's ego. But then they turn around and get upset. And I'm like, don't cry, because you have all the opportunities to investigate why there is a disparity. They just choose not to. And another reason to why there is a disparity is because we expect black men to produce at an earlier age. Okay, we expect black men to be able to hold down a family as soon as he's 18. It's one of those old school traditions that we haven't let go. You know, like I said before, in the black community, you know, we're at a stage now where we want to question what it means to be a black woman. But in terms of black men, oh, you have to produce. You can't get it done. You know, forget how the economy is, you know, going, you know, up and down every day. You know, forget the fact that there are limited jobs. Forget the fact that, you know, a lot of factory jobs are being moved overseas. You know, as a young black man, you're supposed to produce, which is different from any other social group, because they know there is time required before he can produce. So his manhood isn't questioned if he's 18, 19, 20 and necessarily can't produce. All they want to know is, are you on track? Are you doing all the things that you need to do to be able to be a producer later on in life? Like I said, you know, a young black man, you know, where's your job? Where's the money? You can't do this, you can't do that. So most of the time you have some who will resort to selling drugs. You know, they're not trying to be big ballers, they're just trying to help out the family. Especially when you have the whole single mother aspect. You know, you have these women who feel like they're raising men to the point now where they can say, yo, I raised you to be a man, so you're 18, you can go do it. So let me not even get into that, because literally, you know, it's too much to handle at times. Some of the foolishness that we see going on. But anyways, you know, when you go to college, after you graduate, you're still not in a position to make money. Anybody can tell you that. From the time you start college to the time you actually start making good, steady money, to me, and this is assuming that you don't necessarily go into grad school and law school and medical school, or even if you do, you're in a part-time program where you can work full-time. It's probably going to take you a good 7 years. So let's say you go to school and you graduate in 4. You're probably still not going to be in a position where you could actually help somebody else out, let alone help yourself out, for a good 7 years. So a good 3 years after you graduated in 4 years. It takes time. Okay? But the economics in the black family is very limited. Okay? And like I said before, when trouble comes up, what happens? Ladies and gentlemen, when trouble happens, what happens? Women turn to the whole traditional role. Okay? So when things get tough, oh, you're a man. You're supposed to be able to do X, Y, and Z. I don't care how you get it done. Get it done. Am I right? Am I right? Okay, so all of a sudden, the whole idea of an 18-year-old black boy taking 7 years out of his time to get his career and his money together really makes no sense. But it's okay for the women, even in times of, you know, financial hardship, simply because it's not what she's expected to do traditionally. It's not her burden. And what upsets me is you have a lot of women from lower income families, okay, who do make it to college, and they forget that they have older brothers. When your school fees need to get paid, when your car needed to get fixed, or when you just needed spending money to go out with your homegirls, who was there? Wasn't it your older brother? Who was helping you out when you needed to get moved into your apartment or something happened? Who was there? Your older brother, right? The one that you didn't go to college. So to me, it's disrespectful, because a lot of these times these women act as if they're out there and they're alone. You have older brothers, you have cousins, you know their stories, you know why they didn't make it. Mama got sick, so he had to find work. Dad lost his job, so my brother had to find work. Because like I said before, when things aren't going well, that's when men are really asked to be traditional. And, women will gladly play their traditional role, but when things are going good, all of a sudden, it's time to be modern. We all know, men and women, we've all been to school, and we should all know at least 3 to 5 people who had to drop out, not because they couldn't cut it academically, not even because they couldn't afford to, handle their own financial situation. They had to drop out because they had to help their family out. They had to help their family out. And as a man, what are you going to do? You will always sacrifice yourself first. So you have these younger black men who give up their dreams, their goals, because they want to sacrifice for their family. They would rather pay for their sister's school fees than pay for their own. But you never hear those stories. You never hear those stories. And that's what upsets me, because the women forget. They want to play dumb and stupid once they make it, and act as if they grew up by themselves. Let's get real here. So anyways, hopefully this can spark some debate and people can share some of their stories, because I know we all have them. We all have them. I've had my moments. Like you guys know, my parents divorced when I was 14, but then they try to get back together because, we're Nigerian and divorce is frowned upon. And they ended up divorcing again when I was in school, and I almost dropped out. Because things were crazy. I almost dropped out because my family needed me. Spiritually and financially as well. Just because I'm Nigerian doesn't necessarily mean, I come from money, right? I did when I was younger, but as you guys know, divorce just tears things up. So I went from growing up with money to, kind of just getting by, right? More of a lower income type family when I reached college. So my family needed me financially, and I was heavily considering dropping out and just working and, hopefully trying to finish. Heavily. And at that time, my older sister was still in school as well. But I was at a position where I would rather, put my schooling on the side to make sure that my family was okay. But like I said before, you don't hear the stories of younger black men who sacrifice their own futures to help out their families. And it's saddening, because you would think that some of these same educated women would give some respect and some honor to their brothers, their male cousins, right? Who sacrificed for them, for their family, who made it easier for her to go to school and get that master's degree and get that condo and get that Lexus. You don't hear any sort of thank you. All you hear is, you guys can't cut it. So anyways, you guys take it easy. God bless.